What's up, YouTubers? So let me just throw a disclaimer out for the YouTube police right now. I'm not going to shoot any of my firearms in this video. And I'm not going to show you a view down this magnifier because I tried, but for the life of me, I can't get my phone camera to focus well through the magnifier through a red dot. So, I mean, I kind of could, but it was just doesn't do the picture justice. I mean, you can't really tell anything anyways because it could be the camera, it could be the focus. It's just there's no way to get the light the same between the two different pictures, setting up two different guns and whatever. So, but I actually debated doing this video because of that, because I'd want to see through it too. But even though I couldn't get it happening, there's no other real good videos about this 6x magnifier other than, hey, look, we have a 6x magnifier. Cool. But it says you're not supposed to use it with the Pro, or it says it's marketed for the T2 and H2 and maybe the Comp M4 and Comp M4S and stuff like that. Because of the glass clarity, it says not to use it with like the Aimpoint Pro. It's not designed for it. But so this video is kind of to discuss what that means and why they're saying that. Because I got both, obviously. I got a T2 on this air pistol, and I got a Pro on my SCAR right now. And I got a chance to shoot the 6x magnifier yesterday, out to only out to 50 yards. But I got some pretty good perspective on that between these two optics and what I think what they're trying to get across with how they're marketing it toward just the T2H2. So that all being said, take it with a grain of salt because I'm not going to show you a view. But so my personal experience is limited to 1 day, indoor range, 50 yards. But from what I could do, I put that magnifier on my air pistol, and I was able to shoot at 50 yards with a super tight group, and I could see every round impacting the paper clearly. It was very crisp. I could see it was really clear. It felt like I was right next to it. When I did it with the Pro on my SCAR, I had to pull the target back to make out really what was happening on the paper. It's not as crisp. The glass is definitely not as good as quality of the T2. The dot as well. So the dot projection is onto the lens. So if the lens isn't as good, the projection, the dot's not going to be as crisp, I'm guessing. I don't know that for a fact, but that kind of makes sense to me. So, and with the Pro, I got just a tiny bit of, so I have a astigmatism, and I got just a tiny bit of like, what do you call it, like asterisk type thing where there was a little bit of lines coming off the side of the dot with the Pro, but with T2 it was really round and crisp and nice and defined on the dot. And yeah, it's just not as nice a glass. And I mean, you can get it done with the Pro with the 6x magnifier. You could definitely see a lot farther and shoot a lot farther at smaller things. So I guess the question I had was, I've got a 3x, a Neotech G23 magnifier. With some people, I don't know, they say the 33 is way better. Never tried one, so I got no basis for comparison there. But the 3x, the G23 has been working fine for me. I've had it for like almost 10 years. It works well. I can do everything I need to do with it. At 3x magnification, I have trouble telling the difference between the glass on both of those. It's kind of nitpicky at that magnification. I couldn't really tell. Maybe that's just because the glass on the G23 is not as good. I don't know. But between the 3x magnifier, between those two, not a big deal to me. Once I put the 6x behind it, then, I don't know, just with the loss of definition on the Pro, do I want to get an H2 or a T2 now for that? Probably. Just because, I don't know. Wouldn't really need it, though. Depends on what you want to do. You want to shoot small things at far away with a magnifier and a red dot, I'd go with the T2 and the 6x. But if you're shooting at gongs and, I don't know, body style things or animals or just target shooting or whatever with it, and you want to just see farther, see a little closer at what you're shooting at, and you'll want the Pro, like the T2. But you can definitely get it done with the Pro, shooting at bigger stuff. And if you don't need really fine detail vision out really far, then whatever. Now, if I was going to only own one magnifier, that's the next question. I don't think it would be the 6X, because the field of view on the 6X is quite a bit smaller than on a 3X or on my Elcan Spectre. It's just a really narrow, it's a more narrow tube, and that's one thing I kind of wish they would have done, is made that tube bigger on the 6X. It would have made it a heck of a lot better in my opinion. But maybe that screws it up when you're behind a different size tube and you have a bigger, I don't know. But I would like to see it bigger. So you have a smaller field of view, so it's you got to be pretty accurate with pointing your gun. Like, let's say you're trying to find something in a field, you're trying to shoot at a little varmint or something like that. Get your eyes on it and then bring the gun up into your view. You might have to search for it a little bit unless you're super accurate with where you're pointing, you know. So all-purpose use, I would say a 3X would probably be more of, I don't know, efficient. I don't know, it's a tough call. It depends what you're doing with your gun, you know. If I was to only have one, I'd probably get a 3X, though. Because, I mean, you can shoot little tannerite jugs, the little 1-pounders at 100 yards with a 3X, no problem. And you got to be stable. You can do it with open sights too, but if you want to be cool and do it with magnification, it just makes it a little easier. You don't have to be as stable and have as good of fundamentals. You can kind of wing it a little bit more with magnification. So you can get it done with a 3X, no problem. I doubt you're going to be shooting squirrels at 150 yards with a 3X, but I think you could do it with this 6X. It brings you in quite a bit closer to stuff. I can read small words on things far away, and like I said, I was able to see my holes in a piece of paper at 50 yards with that 6X without leaving the bench. It was pretty cool to be able to just zero the gun at 50 yards without moving, without bringing the paper back. So I guess those are the things I was wondering about. Yeah. I don't know, if you're going to get it though, you should definitely get it from LaRue in my opinion. Because how else are you going to get that magnifier for that price in a flip to side mount? A quick release flip to side mount. Yeah, it's pretty unbeatable. Same with the optics and their mounts. I mean, you get it for the same price with their mount that you typically just get the optic for anywhere else. Yeah, I don't know if you want to see the mount real quick how it works. I guess I'll show you that. So it's the same mechanism as our other releases. Hope that's in view. The same mechanism as our other releases, like that. You lock it, push that forward, and to get it to swivel to the side, you just pull back on it. There's a spring mechanism that keeps it forward, and there's a detent right here. Just pull back, rotate to the side. It locks into another detent out there, so it's locked in to the side. And then to get it back up, you do the same thing. Pull aft, and rotate it in. I kind of like it. I wasn't crazy about it at first, because I was just used to my other magnifier, which is on an arms mount. It has a little tiny lever right here. You flip it, and it just pops out. But then it's like it's loose. It's loose in the outboard position, so if you bump it, it'll go up back into place. With this one, you got it explicitly mean to put it back into place. Length, I think, is 6 inches on this. Eye relief isn't too bad, honestly. I was expecting worse eye relief. You got a little bit of room for error on it. Am I going to keep it? Yeah, I dig it. I like the idea of being able to look far and see stuff really clearly. And I mean, like I said, fundamentals. You can shoot well with a 3X. You don't even need magnification, honestly, and you can shoot really well. But I like to be able to see really far and shoot tight groups. Shoot little things with 5.56. That's what it looks like on there. That's how far it hangs back. You can see where my optic is on the upper receiver. Barely past the edge of the upper receiver on the mount. And then this thing fits right behind it and hangs over the castle nut just a tiny bit, which I found is nice for where I actually hold the gun anyway. Yep. One thing I was wondering about was that. See how it's right over the ejection port, right over the deflector and the forward assist. But shoots just fine like this, no problems. There's no brass marks on there, so I wasn't hitting them. Hitting it. Do I like it? Yep. I'm going to keep it? Yep. I think it's awesome. I like the idea of having an Aimpoint. I like a 6x scope idea too, but they don't have the... I shoot more without magnification than with, so I really just prefer an Aimpoint. And when I want to stretch it out, then I can throw that 6x on there. And plus, for zeroing a red dot, I like to have higher magnification so I can see really well what I'm doing. I can tell more when I'm looking at through a 6x if it was me that threw a shot off or if it was the round or what. If there's flyers or whatever, I can tell. I can see more clearly if I'm making a mistake or if the ammo is just not as tight tolerance. So I don't know, it helps me with zeroing and just my OCD of making sure my optic is exactly zeroed with each round, you know. So yeah, that's my take on it. I can't believe nobody else has a video of these, honestly, for how long they've been out and actually talking about them. Maybe that's because, I don't know, people don't want them. I think it's cool though. So yeah, apologize that I'm not going to show you down the view. I can't make it happen with my equipment. I'd rather buy ammo than a camera. So, yep. All right. Hope it still helps somebody out though. Have a nice day.